G-Roll Electronic Productions, baby.
Welcome. I'm JJ, your local neighborhood psychotherapist, here to cover some news today. Happy Thursday to everyone. Let's go over some stuff that's going on around the world, some important news. All right. We're going to start off with the first news of the day. Stuart Varney, he's from Fox Business. He said Biden's confusion is a very difficult issue for the Democrat Party. I agree. I definitely agree. Biden looks for deceased Indiana Congresswoman at White House event. We talked about this yesterday, but I did not. I like his take on it. How it's definitely gonna hurt the Dems. I've trolled people before on Facebook about Biden, and I remember the person I was trolling. They were like, "There's nothing wrong with Biden, and you as a therapist, you should not be trying to say he has dementia and all this other stuff and then they were like, it's not real, and then I posted all this stuff of Biden and they didn't respond back, of course, because you can't argue with facts, you can't argue with the truth. You could just show people how he's been behaving as of late. Copper Skies said, "Good afternoon, JJ." Hey, what's going on, Copper Skies? How you doing today? How you doing? All right. Let's talk about this news. Let's see. During his latest My Take Thursday, Varney and Co. host Stuart Varney discussed President Biden's latest gaffe at the White House, arguing the president's confusion has become a very difficult issue for the Democrats. So let's check his take on this.
It started as a White House event about combating hunger. It ended with questions about the president's ability to do the job.
I want to thank all of you here for including bipartisan elected officials like
First, I'm going to point out really quick, just listen to how he slurs his words. I mean, anybody that ever been around people that has that's starting to lose their faculty, you can notice the way they talk is one of the first things you notice that goes. The way they talk, they slur their words, they mumble, they're very forgetful. Like, all these things are indications of dementia.
Representative Governor, Senator Braun, Senator Booker, Representative Jackie. Are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here.
Memory, that's another one. Memory loss, and he did not remember that a month prior to, he actually talked about her passing. He don't remember none of that. He actually thought she was there. And then I played yesterday. Well, no, I didn't play it. I posted the clip yesterday of Jean Pierre and how she tries to downplay it and was like, "Oh, she was on his mind." Well, if that was the case, then if she was on his mind, he knows about the death. Why would he be asking where she is?
Okay. The president was looking for Jackie Walorski, an Indiana congresswoman who died in a car crash in August. He appeared dazed. He appeared unfocused. He appeared to have forgotten the congresswoman had died, even though he'd issued a statement of condolence, flown the flag at half-staff at the White House, and is scheduled to meet the family tomorrow. What happened? Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre would not say the president had simply forgotten Walorski. No, Jean-Pierre said Walorski was top of mind for the president.
Whatever that means.
Whatever that means.
No one knows what that means. That's a new expression. Top of mind.
And besides, she implied it could happen to anyone. Yeah, but not everyone is the president of the United States. The country has every right to be concerned when the man in charge occasionally can't cope. Yet he insists he's contemplating running for a second term. Is that what Democrats want? In 7 weeks, Biden turns 80 and will be 82 for the next presidential election.
Democrats do not want him to run, but a lot of them are afraid to admit it. We showed the video of Donna Brazile and how she was saying she's backing Biden and all this other stuff. You can look at her eyes when she's saying it. She doesn't even really believe what she's saying. They don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit that something's mentally wrong with this guy. He's confused. He's forgetful. All the things of the. Matter of fact, let me pull it up really quick. I'll play the rest of this video and I'll pull up signs of dementia so I can give you the actual medical definition.
In 6 weeks, it's the midterms. Along with inflation, the economy, crime, the border, and everything else that's gone wrong, add in the president's frailty and confusion as very difficult issues for the Democrat Party.
Yeah, it's definitely a big deal for the Democrats. It's pretty funny hearing them just try to explain away everything that he does. And then he'll say one thing, and then the White House will come out and correct what he says. And I've never seen this happen so much. But here we go. Memory loss. Does he have memory loss? Yes. Check. Difficulty concentrating. Does he have difficulty concentrating? Yes. He finding it hard to carry out familiar daily tasks, such as getting confused over the correct change when shopping, or he's just confused altogether. We know when he finished speaking, he don't know where to go. This happens multiple times. So check. Struggling to follow a conversation or find the right word. We knows how he messes up words and stuff, and so check there. Being confused about time and place. I don't know about him being confused about time, but place, yeah, he definitely looked lost most of the time. And mood changes. We know how he flips out sometimes on people asking questions and stuff like that. So he has all the signs, all the symptoms of dementia, but yet Democrats refuse to admit as much. Copper Sky says, I think everybody on both sides of the aisle know that the actual people in control at the White House are just using him for as long as they can to keep up the weekend at Bernie's charade. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We know he's a propped up figurehead. Madness. So here we go here. I got the clip of him being redirected yet again. This is from Gateway Pundit. Mr. President, Biden wanders away from podium as his own FEMA administrator attempts to redirect him. I mean, it's like a daily thing now where he gets confused about where he's supposed to go. Joe Biden on Thursday delivers remarks to FEMA. Oh, this this also happened yesterday. That's what I'm saying. It's happened more frequently now. But he delivered remarks at the FEMA headquarters after being briefed on Hurricane Ian. Approximately 2.6 million customers in Florida are without power after Hurricane Ian made landfall Wednesday. And my heart's out to y'all people. I'm praying for y'all. I got family out in Florida, that I touch base with as well, and I'm praying for them as well. So shout out to everyone in Florida. All my thoughts are out to y'all. And thoughts and prayers. Hurricane Ian made landfall on Florida's west coast on Wednesday as a Category 4 storm. The eye of the storm hit Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Punta Gorda Wednesday with maximum sustained winds of 155 miles per hour. Some houses were ripped from their foundations and were seen floating down the street. So here's that. I guess. So that's the storm there. I'm pretty sure a lot of people seen this clip already. But let's see. When Biden mumbled through his remarks on Thursday and appeared to forget the name of his own FEMA director. This is one day after Biden thought Jackie Wolowski, who died in a car accident last month, was alive at his conference on health and hunger. Biden is totally shot. So he's forgetting his own FEMA administrator. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell attempted to redirect Joe Biden as he wandered away. So let's watch this really quick. Him wandering again.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Mr. President.
Where are you going? Crazy. Craziness. She's like, Mr. President, hey, where are you going, bud? Alright, let's see what else we got going on here. At least he noticed she wasn't there. Did Trevor Noah finally declare open season on Biden's mental faculties? I don't think so. I mean, he might be doing it, and I'm surprised that Trevor Noah, who we know is a leftist, is actually making fun of this. Maybe more and more leftists will wake up, but we'll see. Did Joe Biden's aphasic gaffe yesterday and White House bizarre attempt to deny it finally break the dam on purposeful media ignorance of his cognitive or ignorance of his cognitive condition? Apparently at Comedy Central it did, for one night anyway. Trevor Noah seized on Biden's "Where's Jackie?" call out for deceased Republican Representative Jackie Wolosky. Noah joked that Biden was really looking for Jackie O and the Osama bin Laden could be next. At least he noticed she wasn't there, Noah sarcastically riffed. So finally, the leftists are doing real comedy now. So let's see.
Just a cute little name I came up with so you would remember it. All right, but let's move on to some political news. After a shaky start to his presidency, Joe Biden has recently gotten some of his groove back. He's signing legislation, he's reestablishing America's status in Europe, and he's the new brand ambassador for aviators. Ooh. In fact, many people are actually saying that Biden might have a really good shot at winning a second term in office. All he needs to do, though, is avoid doing stuff like this.
An awkward moment for President Biden today at a White House conference. While calling out people in the audience, he accidentally included Indiana Congresswoman Jackie Wolosky, who was killed in a car crash over the summer.
And I want to thank all of you here for including bipartisan elected officials like Representative Governor, Senator Braun, Senator Booker, Representative Jackie. Are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here to help make this a reality.
No.
And the crazy thing is her explanation. Jean-Pierre explanation for this doesn't make any sense either.
No, Joe, what are you doing? That's so awkward. Oh, man. And his explanation didn't help. You know, he's like, of course I knew Jackie was dead. I was looking for Jackie Kennedy. Where's Jackie Kennedy? Where are you, Jackie? Where's Jackie O? Look, I mean, I guess on the upside, at least.
Most of the people in this audience probably don't even know who Jackie Kennedy is, who Jackie O is. These people have no sense of history, don't understand anything.
He noticed that she wasn't there. This is a good thing. Yeah, it could have been much worse if he was like, where's Jackie? Oh, there she is. There's Jackie. Everyone look at Jackie. People are like, there's no Jackie. She's there. Everybody sees Jackie. And look, I know a lot of people are saying that this is another example of Biden's brain being foggy, but I think, if anything, this makes Biden a better president. Yeah, think of how hard he must be working right now to keep Americans safe, knowing that Osama bin Laden is still out there somewhere. Where is he? Where is he, Jack? Where is he? Where is he?
That's pretty funny. I'll give him that one. At least he was funny that time. All right. Now, this is more economy news here. We all know that we're in a recession, even though the Democrats are not admitting it. The government is not admitting that we are. We definitely in a recession right now. But Meta freezes hiring as CEO Mark Zuckerberg blames economy. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg reportedly announced a hiring freeze on Thursday and blamed the economy as he warned of downsizing and restructuring to come. And we all know that they pretending like the economy is fine. When I say they, you know I'm talking about the leftists, the liberals, the Democrats. They're actually pretending like, oh, the economy's fine. Unemployment is low and all this other bull crap, and just lies on top of lies. But people that are really out there, people that are purchasing groceries, people that are filling up their gas tanks, they know what the real deal is. But Zuckerberg broke the news to his employees during a weekly Q&A on Thursday afternoon, according to Bloomberg. Quote, I had hoped the economy would have more clearly stabilized by now, but what we're seeing, it doesn't yet seem like it has. So we want to plan somewhat conservatively, Zuckerberg reportedly said. But then you help put the Democrats in power, Zuckerberg, which is Zuckerbucks and all that other stuff that you're doing for elections and stuff. You're putting the main people in power that's destroying your business. That's what I don't understand. How can you vote for these people that are anti-business? It makes no sense to me. If you own a business, if you own a corporation, how could you vote for these people that doesn't have your interests at heart? Zuckerberg reportedly added that budgets will be slashed across most teams at Meta, which owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Some teams will, quote, manage out people who aren't succeeding. While others will not replace employees who leave the company, Zuckerberg reportedly said. So I wonder, is it going to be on merit, or are they going to pull what that other company did? The company slips my mind. Is he going to pull what the other company did, which is don't fire minorities but fire all the white people, which is pretty funny to me. Quote, for more than 18 years of the company, we basically grew quickly, basically every year, and then more recently, our revenue has been flat to slightly down for the first time, Zuckerberg reportedly added. Well, maybe if you stop censoring people and and stop spying on people and handing people data over to government entities, it wouldn't be so bad. I know I don't really use Facebook really. I just post my videos on there from time to time. But other than that, I could care less what's going on Facebook, because I know that's not really the real world. Same thing with Twitter. I just post my crap on there, and every once in a while I'll troll. But really, I know that it's not real life, and I know about the censorship and stuff that these platforms have. So I really don't like supporting them. But while the Federal Reserve's interest rate hikes have plummeted virtually all tech stocks, Meta has been hit particularly hard due to privacy changes by Apple have cost Zuckerberg's companies billions. Quote, for the first 18 years of the company, we basically grew quick, basically. So why are they already said this part. They already said this part. I can't believe I can't believe New York Post put this in there twice. But while the Federal Reserve interest rate hikes have pummeled virtually all tech stocks, Meta has been hit particularly hard due to privacy changes by Apple have cost Zuckerberg billions. They just repeated themselves in the article. Meta shares were down 4% at a $135.98 in Thursday trade, and have plunged about 60% for the year. I mean, that is incredible. How do you lose 60% in a year and still be the CEO of a company is my question. They need to get rid of Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg has also sought to shift resources away from Meta's social media projects, which are responsible for the vast majority of his revenue, and into his Metaverse pet project. Metaverse is weird. I don't get it. I mean, I don't understand why anybody likes the Metaverse. I think it's stupid. I don't think it's going to do anything. The company's Metaverse division, Reality Labs, lost a whopping $10 billion during the 2021 fiscal year. Like, how do you lose how do you lose all of that money and still keep your job? The strategy shift and belt tightening have made 2022 a rough year for Meta employees and for Zuckerberg himself, whose estimated net worth has plunged from $100 billion to less than $50 billion, thanks to the company's tumbling share. He lost half of his money. In July, Zuckerberg had warned that Meta teams would shrink and that he expects the company to get more done with fewer resources. So that's Facebook. Good riddance. I'm hoping another platform will emerge that are actually where the people will go to, where you don't have to worry about being censored by the overlords. All right, so let's see here. We got libs of TikTok suspended by Twitter again for hateful conduct. Now, my question is, How do they keep getting suspended? All they do is take other people's posts and then they post it on Twitter. That's all they do. It's not them saying this stuff. It's fine on the platform, but if you shine a light to the idiocracy, that's when it's a problem. How is it hateful conduct? All you doing is flashing the light on the dumb stuff. It makes no sense. But Twitter has allegedly once again suspended Libs of TikTok account for posting hateful conduct. Since I didn't look it up to verify, but I'm going off of what the New York Post said. They might be on by now. They might still be suspended. I don't really know right now, but I'll go on Twitter in a little bit and verify. But Babylon B CEO Seth Dillon reported the new suspension on Wednesday from his personal Twitter account. Breaking: Twitter has once again hit Libs of TikTok with a 7-day suspension. Oh, it's a whole 7 days for hateful conduct. No specific tweets were flagged. We've since fired off another letter to Twitter. They're on notice that we will sue them in their permanent if they permanently suspend us, Dillon tweeted. He added, in anticipation to an extended legal fight with Twitter, we all know it's just a matter of time before the permanent ban. We've set up a legal defense fund. You can read about it, blah, blah, blah. My suggestion is Libs of TikTok, the B, y'all need to come out to Texas, where if they censor you, they can't censor you. It's illegal to censor you, and if they do, you can sue the crap out of them. But Twitter did not respond to Fox News Digital request for comment. The letter attached to Dillon's tweet came from Envisage Law attorney James R. Lawrence III, who warned about Twitter's breach of contract with Sunday suspension. So Libs, remarkably, on numerous occasions, Twitter has confirmed that Lot is writing that our clients reporting did not violate Twitter's rule, including your company's hateful conduct policy. As Twitter explained in a recent email to Lot, your company is required by German law to provide notice to users who are reported by people from Germany via the Network Enforcement Act reporting flow, Lawrence wrote. He added, Twitter apparent cognitive dissonance is not a matter of mere academic curiosity for Lot. Twitter conclusions regarding Lot's previous tweets have legal consequences for your company. Lot's most recent reporting is not materially different from any of Lot's other Twitter cleared tweets. At the very least, Twitter prior investigations are relevant for purposes of a breach of contract claim. Twitter speech code has not changed, and neither has the nature of our clients' reporting. That is awesome. I hope they sue the crap out of them. That's the only thing they listen to is money. Twitter is a cesspool. Twitter is horrible. I see that my computer, my boomer tech computer, is messing up right now. It's freezing. I apologize for that. Hopefully the audio is still working all right, but my video it's not. It says it's not receiving right now. I apologize for that. It's skipping some frames. All right, let's go on to the next one. Nowhere left to hide. Neither White House nor common man can evade recession data. The recession is here. No matter how much they try to lie about it, how they try to ignore it, not talk about it, recession is here. Newly released data from the Commerce Department show what some people have been saying for months, and I've been saying it for months. Copper Sky said audio was okay, but it stuttered a bit. Yeah, thanks for that. I'm sorry. I apologize about that. I'm gonna get a new computer one day. I just had to get a new one for my daughter, so I guess it's time for me to get one myself. Newly released data from the Commerce Department showed what. Oh yeah, I already read that part. We know we're in a recession. Furthermore, the Biden administration cherry picking of data has come back to bite them, with even their select data points now being revised to indicate a recession. And while these numbers confirm the economy shrank in the first half of the year, the rest this year holds little promise of recovery. The economy, as measured by gross domestic product, GDP, the total value of all goods and services produced within the nation's border, shrank in the first 2 quarters of the year. But in Orwellian fashion, the White House was quick to roll out their latest newspeak and declare that this is no longer meant a recession. The Biden administration cited seemingly robust growth in gross domestic income, or GDI, to counter the decline in GDP, yet for some reason they are silent about today's revised data. Of course, they're not going to admit it. They're not going to admit it at all. That is probably because the gross national income, or GNI, the total amount of money earned by the nation's people and businesses, was revised heavily downward from 1.4 to just 0.1. They lost a whole 1 point and then some. It's not even a whole point we gained in the second quarter. The average GDP, or GNI, is considered a supplemental measure of economic activity, and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, among others, used this as proof that the nation was not in a recession, since previous average was 0.4 growth in the second quarter. So now they readjusted it, they fixed it. I don't know how did they mess up that big. They go from 1.4 to 0.1 unless and when they came out with that number, I might have originally said that I don't believe that number anyway, and I was correct. It was an incorrect number. So actually, we did lose GNI. So they can't say we're not in a recession now. They can't say that. They can't use that. They can't use that excuse now. Now that figure is negative 0.3% the first quarter. That same figure was also revised down into a negative territory. Simply put, the Biden administration has no data points left behind which they can hide the recession is confirmed. That's what I was alluding to. They can't, excuse me, they have nothing else they can use now because the GNI is a lot lower than what they said it is. So they can't lie and say we're not in a recession anymore. We are now officially in a recession. I haven't seen anything come out of the White House when they spoke to this. I'm hoping that a reporter sometime today will ask them about this and be like, hey, are we in a recession now? Because the numbers got adjusted and you were incorrect, Janet Yellen. So I'm hoping someone asked Janet Yellen, and I'm hoping someone asked the White House. Manipulation of data is no substitute for sound economic policy. The Biden administration hung their hat on a single datum point that has now turned against them. Hoisted on their own petard, it is reminiscent of Jesus' admonition to St. Peter, quote, "He who lives by the sword dies by the sword." Amen. But there are still more distressing signs in the latest Commerce Department report. Real adjusted for inflation, disposable income in the second quarter decreased 1.5%, 0.9 percentage points worse than previously estimated. The savings rate for both quarters was also worse than the prior estimates. In other words, people are demonstrably worse off as inflation erases all their wage increases and then some. The common man can afford to buy and save less than before. The measures of inflation were also revised and were even worse than previously estimated. This includes core inflation, which excludes food and energy, and is the Federal Reserve preferred inflation indicator. That means the Fed will likely continue their belated rate hikes, increasing the pain that accompanies higher interest rates. See, that's the problem with the Feds. What the Feds should have did, they should have raised interest rates back in 2020, slowly, and a little bit in 2021, and we wouldn't have these issues that we have now, where they're trying to play catch up and raise interest rates all at once, which is really going to hurt the economy. But what does the future hold for the average American? Is the economy turning around? In a word, no. And I agree with that. It's not turning. It's going to get a lot worse before the economy get any better. Unfortunately, it's going to be a rough Thanksgiving. Like I think I talked about it yesterday. It's going to be really bad come Thanksgiving, and then come Christmas time. I think this is going to be one of the worst Christmases, worst holidays on record. Is what we're about to hit this year. Is what I'm thinking. by every indication that I see. The latest data indicate that the third quarter of this year may barely eke out positive economic growth, but things are looking bleak after that. The country is in the middle of a double dip recession, and a recession followed by a brief recovery and then another recession. Two key contributors to the growth are vanishing before our eyes, yet few people see them. Oh, I see it. I see it. I've been talking about it for a while. Many businesses are still working through backlogs from the pandemic called unfilled orders. Despite new orders for goods and services declining, businesses have been sustaining themselves on their unfilled orders, which are rapidly decreasing. Once those are gone, there's not enough new orders to sustain current economic output. That means layoffs, unemployment, and further recession. Hence, you see Facebook gonna be firing employees. I can't tell you how many articles or how many videos I've seen of places that's downsizing, that's gonna be firing people because they know what's really that's how you know what's really going on. You look at what businesses are doing because they're not gonna listen to the government rhetoric. Because they're about money. They got to make their money no matter what. So instead of listening to what the government said, they're gonna handle it accordingly. And that by those indications of how they're firing people and getting rid of people and downsizing, it tells you where the economy is heading. Additionally, the only major positive contributor to GDP currently is net exports, which is simply how much the nation exports minus how much it imports, commonly called the trade deficit. The shrinking trade deficit has been boosting GDP, but this effect too is evaporating. So you get the gist of it. The economy is terrible, terrible, terrible. And I got this great article about the Washington Post. This is from the Federalist. Washington Post finally learns what a recession is and swears it could be good for you financially. And I think I might have tweeted about it yesterday. I'm not sure, but this is one of the dumbest things. They take some of which everyone knows is bad. Everyone knows this is bad. They take one of the worst things and try to spin it into something good. I don't know how you can spin a recession into a good thing, but let's see how they spin it. The Washington Post's 7 silver linings to a recession are just deceptions that pretend struggling Americans are okay financially. Like, this is despicable. But I don't know. The Washington Post is horrible. That's why their subscriptions are declining. No one wants to read the toilet paper or crap. The Washington Post wants you and every American and other concerned about the recession, record high inflation, and a crashing stock market to put on a brave face and pretend there's an upside to this economic chaos, right? That's why the corporate media outlet, guilty of regularly spewing pro-democratic propaganda, published a column ordering Americans to see the bright side of the economic conditions that have become the main source of their frustration over the last year. Quote, hey, a recession isn't all bad news, Washington Post columnist Michelle Singletary said in an article of 7 ways a recession could be good for you financially. Here are 7 silver linings, she added. This is ridiculous. Like, who believes this crap? No one reading this I want to know the person that actually believes this crap. I would love to talk to them. But keep in mind, the Washington Post was one of the many corporate media outlets that after back-to-back negative quarters denied that the U.S. had entered a recession. Mere months later, WaPo is now only quietly conceding that the nation is experiencing a severe economic downturn, but is also telling Americans to be optimistic about the dire economic circumstances that come with the recession. Quote, I have to say this because, as Roosevelt pointed out, when they're quoting Roosevelt, you know something's wrong. Fear itself can lead to actions that worsen your finances. While many people are hurting, there may be a way to cushion the downside, Singletary wrote. The newspaper was rightfully torched by angry Americans for pretending everything is fine, but that the public backlash alone isn't enough. Here's a dissection of the Washington Post recession deceptions one by one. I'm not going to go over all of them. I'll go over a couple of them. Deception 1, housing prices are down. Singletary says that the recession might bring housing prices down to reasonable levels. She acknowledged that means mortgage rates are higher, but claims that those are not a problem since sellers in many markets will have to lower their asking price so that buyers can qualify for loans, and that's what I'm worried about because I'm gonna be I'm selling a house myself, and I definitely don't want to see high interest rates because that's gonna force me to make less money when I sell it. Copper Sky said WaPo would say a nuclear war under has a silver lining, right? Copper Sky said, I think everybody on both sides of the aisle know that the actual people in control at the White House are just using him for as long as they can. Oh, that's the one you already. Oh, you deleted it, Copper Skies. Oh, you're probably redoing it. Okay. Where was I? Okay, so that's assuming, of course, that potential home buyers can afford anything other than astronomically priced items at the grocery store. That's the tight finances and a reluctance to sacrifice a thorough home inspection. Buyer in real estate hotspots across the country are already backing out of contracts. And you hear about that. You hear a lot of people getting ready to purchase houses, and then they look at it, and they actually look at the interest rates and how much they're going to be paying over the years, and they'll be like, you know what, it's just not worth it right now. So a lot of people are just holding out on buying. Deception number 2. Savings rates are up. Quote, at least one bright side of the Federal Reserve raising rates to fight inflation is banks are paying people more to hold their money. What? No, they're not. Singletary wrote, my credit union has a special 20-month offer on a certificate that will pay me 3% annual percentage yield. So you want to ruin the economy so you can get 3%? So you can get 3%? Come on now. Well, good for you, but to be frank, nearly 46% of Americans say they are saving less than usual right now after paying more than $3 per gallon gas to fill up their cars, higher prices to feed their families, and forking over extra cash to cover ever-climbing energy bills. Working Americans likely don't have many leftover funds to stash anymore. That's true. It's been a while since I played with the stock market myself. Oh, Carpet Skies, you had too many typos. No worries. In fact, some Americans aren't saving at all. At least 29% of Americans confess they are being forced to dip into their savings accounts to cover essential day-to-day costs. I think let's see. Deception number 3. I bonds inflation rate might go even higher. Singletary says buying federally controlled inflation bonds could be good since the bonds are paying out a whopping 9.62%. Those rates, however, aren't going too fast. The Treasury, which controls the bonds, have already announced plans to introduce a new variable rate next month. So you're not going to get that rate. It's going to change. Yes, I bonds are designed to minimize the damage and effect of inflation, even at a lower rate. But what happens when Americans can't spare the money to buy? That's a good. Let me see any more deception. Unemployment is still relatively low. Deception 6. Your used car is worth more. She's full of crap. But no one's gonna be buying it though. Deception number 7. Student loan forgiveness will save you. And let me. I don't even have to read the student loan forgiveness because I got an article coming up about that, about how if you take this $10,000 and then if you have a Pell Grant, you can get $20,000 loan forgiveness. Your taxes are going to go up. I think about $1,000. So you're going to have to pay $1,000 more in taxes to get this $20,000. A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't want to pay the higher taxes come tax season. So so loan forgiveness is not really a good thing. Copper Skies said, I wrote, Washington Post would say a nuclear war under Biden would have a silver lining despite the radiation. The dramatic reduction in world population means a reduced carbon impact. That's funny. That's right. I don't, but the funny part is no one is believing their crap. Thank goodness no one is believing Washington Post except for a few leftist pundits, commentators, but the majority of the people, from what I've seen on Twitter, has been bashing Washington Post for that dumb article. But you're right. They would definitely spin that. Most Americans support Biden's student loan tax handout until they realize it raises their taxes. And this is what I was just alluding to. A majority of Americans would oppose President Joe Biden's plan to forgive billions of dollars of federal student loan debt if it led to higher taxes, according to a recent poll. The survey, conducted by British data company YouGov, I did not know YouGov was British. What? I did not know YouGov was British. But on behalf of British company YouGov, behalf of the Libertarian Cato Institute, found that 64% of American adults said they are in favor of the federal government forgiving up to $10,000 in federal student loans for people earning less than $150,000 a year or less than $300,000 per year for married couples. However, support for canceling federal student loan debt plummets when Americans consider its trade-offs, the Cato Institute said. When asked whether they would support the same plan if it, quote, raise your taxes, 64% of respondents said they would oppose the move, according to the result. Well, the thing is, it will raise your taxes. Meanwhile, 68% of respondents said they would oppose the student loan bailout if it would primarily benefit higher income people. 76% would oppose the plan if it would cause universities to raise their tuition, which we already know they're doing. They're raising their tuition by exactly $10,000. That's the funny part. And this is what happened when you have these subsidies and stuff like that. It makes the cost of everything go up. While 71% would oppose it if that means employers would require college degrees, even if they are not necessary for the job. And there's a lot of jobs out there where you don't need a degree. I mean, I'm definitely in a profession where you need to be highly trained. You need those degrees. You need the experience as well. So I get it. You know, you want to be a doctor. You need to go to school for that. I get it. There's some jobs where you need to go to school, but there's tons of jobs out there where you don't need to go to school for. Couple guys said, I think you covered it, but it was a Rolling Stone article where they said the Thanos snap was actually a justifiable idea. No, I did. I did not cover that, but that is hilarious. But I mean, we all know that leftism is Democrats is a death cult. It's a death cult. So the Thanos snap destroying half of the population is right up their alley. So I believe it. They already don't believe that infants in the womb are alive. They don't believe in heartbeats and all that other stuff. So it's a death cult. So that doesn't surprise me at all. But quote, these data show that Americans don't like the costs that many experts believe are associated with federal student loan forgiveness, said Cato director of polling Emily Ekins. The poll also shows some differences between Democrats and Republicans in their response. I'm not going to go over the rest of that, but you get the gist of that. When you factor in that it's going to raise your taxes, no one is okay with this. All right. So this is from Just the News. Ex-Democrat congressional senator 30 months in prison for election fraud. But wait a minute. All right. Now, YouTube, before you get to me, I know how YouTube like handing me those strikes. But this is an article, and this is actual news. This is what happened. A Democrat got locked up for election fraud, which they try to say election fraud never happens. But so why are people getting locked up for it? But Myers fraudulently stuffed the boxes in support of specific Pennsylvania Democrats from 2014 to 2018. Former Pennsylvania Democrat Rep. Michael Ozzie Myers has been sentenced to 30 months in prison after pleading guilty to election fraud. Myers pleaded guilty in June to several election fraud charges, including orchestrating schemes to fraudulently stuff in the boxes for specific Democratic candidates in 2014, 15, 16, 17, and 18 Pennsylvania elections. Pennsylvania is the worst when it comes to elections, one of the worst. department said Tuesday in announcing its sentence. Myers would charge the candidates consulting fees, which he would in turn use as bribes to help his clients win the election. He worked with at least 2 election judges in the scandal. So the judges are behind it. So this is why when you try to go to the judges and you try to get them, and you try to bring this stuff to judges, they throw it out. Remember in 2020 how many of these cases got thrown out by judges? It doesn't surprise me if they weren't on the take. A federal district court judge, Paul S. Diamond, also ordered Myers to pay $100,000 in fines, $10,000 of which is due immediately, and submit to 3 years of supervised probation after serving his term in prison. Myers, who served in the House from 1976 through to 80, has expelled from his position after being involved in abscam bribery scandal where FBI agents posed as Arab sheiks. He served time in prison after being convicted of bribery and conspiracy. So this dude is just an all-around dirtbag. FBI special agent in charge, Jacqueline McGuire, said Myers is now a federal felon twice over, heading back behind bars with time to consider the great consequence of free and fair elections. Well, a lot more people need to get locked up for election fraud. All right. Taxpayer-funded cancel culture. Lawmakers press education secretary for more tolerant campuses. I think I might have went over some of this yesterday. GOP lawmakers identified several cases of viewpoints being silenced and asked what actions departments take to promote free speech. Republican lawmakers, let me fix the size of this. All right. Republican lawmakers are questioning the Biden administration about cancel culture on college campuses and asking the question, why are federal taxpayers' dollars funding it? House Committee on Oversight and Reform ranking member Rep. James Comer and House Committee Education and Labor ranking Virginia Fox sent a letter Wednesday to Education Secretary McGill Courtney. Yeah, I did cover this yesterday. I thought this was something different, so I'm not going to go over this one because I did cover it yesterday. Yeah, Copper Sky said, I think you covered it. Oh, no, that was the same one. That was Rolling Stones, yeah. I did cover this one yesterday, so I'll go to the next article here. Occupy Democrats delete tweet. Wishing Trump Mar-a-Lago. Oops. What's going on here? I have to go back one. Okay. Occupy Democrats delete tweet wishing Trump Mar-a-Lago estate was destroyed by Hurricane Ian. These people are evil. I mean, just because you disagree with someone, why do y'all have to be so evil? Why do you have to wish harm on other people? I deal with people from both sides of the aisle in my practice. In life in general, I hang out with people that are Democrats. I hang out with people that are Republicans, conservative, liberals, leftists. Different types of people, but I'm telling you from experience. You might consider this anecdotal, but I'm telling you from experience, people on the left are not tolerant like they pretend to be. They tend to be some of the most bigoted, some of the most racist, some of the most intolerant people, and they come from the left. They're the ones, and it is a death cult, and they always wish harm on other people. That's how you can have someone. That's why you can have a Democrat, a liberal, run over and kill a Republican teenager, and get out of jail and be walking the street the next day. That's what they do. So here's the tweet here from Occupy Democrats. Dear Ian, you had one job, and then they posted that. This is the Democrat Party. They want us dead, and that's true. They want us. They don't look at us as people. That's why they do this stuff. Occupy Democrats on Thursday lamented the fact that Hurricane Ian missed Trump Palm Beach, Florida residents Mar-a-Lago. Approximately 2.6 million customers in Florida were without power after Hurricane Ian made landfall. Hurricane Ian made landfall on Florida's west coast on Wednesday as a Category 4 storm. The eye of the storm hit Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Punta Gorda. I talked about that already. And Governor DeSantis described the damage as 500-year-old flood after a 9+ foot surge in Fort Myers. Wow. Hundreds are feared dead, and homes are underwater in Fort Myers. My prayers are out to them. Instead of offering up prayers and for their fellow Americans suffering in Florida, Occupy Democrats tweeted this. Just despicable. 18 minutes later, Occupy Democrats deleted the tweet, but the internet is forever. Yeah, stuff is never really deleted. That's why before you post anything, you want to think about the impact it could have before you post it. Most people don't. That's why I teach this to my clients. You don't want to be impulsive. You want to process and think about everything, especially if you're going to post something online. Before you hit that click button, you want to think about, okay, how can this post affect me negatively? Michigan election worker charged for inserting thumb drive into voting machine during August primary. I meant to have this article up there, but I was talking about election fraud. I thought I had it up there, and I didn't have it organized right, but I apologize. But I hate to backtrack back to fraud, but this is very, very important because we know that all the platforms, if you talk anything about election hankering, you can get deplatformed, you can get a strike, and you can get suspended and all that other stuff. But we have real world instances. We have people getting charged for election shenanigans, but I can't talk about it. So I'm going to be very delicate when I talk about this because we know how the overlords do. But Michigan election worker charged for inserting thumb drive into a voting machine during August primary. A literal thumb drive was placed into the voting machine. The Kent County Sheriff Office announced charges against an election worker for inserting a thumb drive into the voting machine during the August primary election. 68-year-old Donald Hokebor was a township election worker at Gaines Township Precinct 8 on August 18th. He was charged with 2 felonies. This is Lisa Posumus license. She from Kent County. She said, my statement regarding illegal election activity in August primary, quote, let me be clear, voter fraud and illegal election activity in Kent County will not be tolerated. We will take aggressive action to protect our elections and hold those responsible accountable. I don't care if it's a Democrat. I don't care if it's a Republican. I don't care. Our elections are some of the most sacred things, and I think people that break the law and do shenanigans like this need to be held accountable. They need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. So I agree with that. I hope they throw the book at this person. But here's the video from, what is this? Local Channel 13. So I'm gonna play this video here.
And we're also following breaking news out of Kent County, where an election worker is facing 2 felony charges for election fraud.
The Kent County Sheriff says the suspect's accused of plugging a USB drive into an election tabulator machine during the August primary, which means people's data could be at risk. 13
on your side's Keely Levern joins us in the newsroom with what we...
It's crazy. I wonder why they did it. I want to know the motive behind this.
We know right now, and Keely, this means people's personal information could be at risk.
Yeah, absolutely, Val. And all of this just came into our newsroom within the last half hour. But what I can tell you is that James Donald Holkabor, a 68-year-old from Caledonia, is accused tonight of stealing voter information during the August primary when he was working as an election worker in Gaines Township. Now, according to the Kent County clerk, Holkabor, who was working at the township's 8th precinct on...
She was struggling with his name, too. So it's not just me. It's a weird name to pronounce.
68th Street during the election. That's when investigators say a witness saw him put a personal USB drive into the electronic poll book. Now, that is a computer that contains voter registration data, including confidential, personal identifying information about all voters in that precinct. It's a computer that is protected by various provisions of Michigan criminal and election law. The Kent County Sheriff's Office investigated the claims, and today, Kent County Prosecutor Chris Becker announced he is charging Holkabor with 2 felonies: election law, falsifying returns and records, and using a computer to commit a crime. Now, Kent County Clerk Lisa Pachimus-Lyons issued a statement today calling that incident, quote, extremely egregious and incredibly alarming. She also emphasized that it did not have any impact on the election. The clerk says the electronic poll book that was breached will no longer be used in future elections, and that will be replaced by a new one prior to the November election. Online records show that more than 2,500 people are eligible to vote at that precinct, which means their information may have been compromised. The suspect is expected to be in court, and we will bring you any updates as those happen.
I can't wait to see the updates because I really want to know the rationale for this. All right, court orders production of Seth Rich laptop. Now, on my old channel, I covered Seth Rich a lot. My thoughts are he is the WikiLeaks leaker. Unfortunately, his family has sued people that believe that said this, but I have, as my opinion, it's my personal opinion, I believe he is the WikiLeaks leaker. I believe he saw what was going on in the Democratic Party. He saw the illegal shenanigans and illegal stuff that was going on with Hillary Clinton. He saw how evil they were, because he was a leftist. Seth Rich was a leftist, but he believed in America. He believed in freedom. You can see the picture here with him with his American flag outfit on, even over his beard here, and I mean he was American flagged up. So he really believed in America, and he believed that the Democrat Party would be for America, and he saw the evils and stuff that was going on in the Democratic Party, and I believe he exposed that stuff. I believe he is the one that gave Julian Assange the emails, and I believe he paid a price for it, unfortunately. Today, a federal judge ordered the FBI to produce the information it possessed related to Seth Rich's laptop. And then the question is, why did the FBI have his laptop in the first place? That's a great question. That's why that's giving me more of a reason to believe that he is the leaker. This case involved a multi-year fight by attorney Ty Clevenger, and good on him. I mean, he's doing great work. Clevenger is doing great work. I actually, on my Google account, I have anytime Seth Rich is mentioned, I'll get an alert. So I've been doing this. I've been reading about Seth Rich for years, and I know the work that Clevenger been doing in this case. But Ty Clevenger, to obtain records related to FBI DOJ investigation of Seth Rich, particularly whether Rich was involved in the hack of the DNC or had communicated with WikiLeaks. The fight dates back to 2017. Like I said, I've been on it since 2017, and includes I've been on it since he passed, but I've been studying these documents since then. And it includes 2 FOIA lawsuits. In the first lawsuit, the FBI produced no responsive documents. And they even lied. At first they said they didn't have anything, and then they were like, well, we do have it, but we can't give it to you. The parties knew the FBI had something, and so they sparked a second lawsuit where the FBI somehow found 20,000 pages of potential responsive documents, the court explained. My question is, how can they say they don't have something at one time, and then the next time they say they do, and no one gets in trouble to lying to the courts? How come no one gets in trouble for lying? Of those 20,000 pages, the government found 1,596 pages of responsive documents, of which the government upheld 1,469 pages under various FOIA exempts, privacy, law enforcement exemptions, etc. The FBI also withheld the contents of Seth Rich's personal laptop, which it possesses. It is entirety alleging the privacy of Rich's family, and preventing the public release of this information outweighs the public interest in disclosure. I don't understand. I mean, I swear I'm not bashing the family. I'm just trying to understand where they're coming from. Why would the family not want this information out there? Why would the family not want to know who is actually behind the death of their family member? I don't understand why they're suing people for looking into this. I don't get it. I really don't get it. But the court rejected that argument, stating, quote, the FBI has not satisfied its burden of showing more than a de minimis privacy interest that would justify withholding information from Seth Rich's laptop. It included, accordingly, the court finds the FBI inappropriately withheld this information under FOIA, and the court is thus authorized to order its production. What will the laptop reveal? Time will tell. Time is especially relevant because the DOJ will appeal and drag this out. And I'm still going to be on it. I don't care if we going to find out 5-10 years from now what really went down. If I'm on this earth, I'm going to be talking about it. But what might be more interesting is the FBI's complete records on Seth Rich. The FBI has fought production of those records, first by failing to find its own documents, and now by alleging documents must be withheld due to national security grounds and the basis of disclosure of information would threaten intelligence gathering efforts. My question is, why, if he's just a run-of-the-mill regular employee of the he was regular worker, I think it was a staff member or something of the Democrat Party, what intelligence would he have? He wasn't like an upper member person. So what intelligence do he have exactly? And why is the FBI and the DOJ hiding this? I think we know exactly what's going on here. He is the WikiLeaks leaker, and they are trying to prevent us from of knowing this. The information in the FBI's possession includes that which was, quote, provided by foreign government agency authorities under an implied assurance of confidentiality. It also may or may not include whether the FBI used a, quote, code name associated with Seth Rich. Why would they have a code name on a regular Dem? And if FBI representations are to be believed, it also includes, quote, details of intelligence activities, sources, and methods related to national security. Unfortunately, the court won't require the production of this information. Some questions will remain unanswered. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. All right, before I go, let's do some Twitter trolling really quick. I love doing a little Twitter trolling at the end of the day. Let's see what we got here. All right. County judge. Okay. When every law enforcement agency in 100-mile radius endorse your opponent, you can always count on other politicians in your party to have your back. Why won't you debate? Yeah, they're not. She's not going to debate. Let's see here. This is one of the saddest and most dangerous cases of Stockholm syndrome I ever seen. Let's see what this is. I don't even know what she's saying yet, but she looks deranged. She looks deranged. Let's see what she says.
This is not a video I want to make, and it's kind of hard to make because as I'm watching myself,
what is wrong?
I see what I'm going to say, which is I have been diagnosed with Bell's palsy, which is paralysis on one side of the face. For me,
that's sad. Well, I take it back. I apologize. I didn't know that it was Bell's palsy. I definitely don't want to make fun of that. That's something serious.
This side here, the left, obviously. So I got it about 2 weeks after getting my vaccine, and I had a rough.
That's what I was worried about. Oh, it's a shame. It's a shame. On this platform, I can't really say what I want to say about this, but just to put this out there, this is her experience. YouTube. She's a Canadian actress, Jennifer Gibson. This is her experience. She said this is what happened to her. I'm not saying that this is the reason why she has it. This is just maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe it's just a coincidence that she got this after 2 weeks of getting the sticks. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Maybe that, I don't know. It's a shame I got to stipulate that. I hate having to stipulate that, but that's I got to appease the overlords.
Go with the vaccine, and I guess still am. But I have to say that I would do it again because
Jesus,
it's what we have to do.
Hold up. I see why she said. I see why Marissa Hanson retweeted this. I see why Eva Vela, whatever her name is. I apologize, Eva. I see why Eva says Stockholm syndrome. How do you do something like this to yourself? You get the thing. After you get the thing, you get this disease that you can't do anything about. It messes your face up, and then you say you would do it again. Oh my God, oh my gosh, these people has so many issues. Oh my gosh.
It's what we have to do. I would do it again because it's what we have to do.
Jesus.
To see people. So, I don't know why I'm making this video, but here's my word smile.
Jesus. She said she would do it again? Why? Oh my God, man. This is sad. Just in, Dr. Anthony Fauci and his wife net worth grew by $5 million during this stupid 19 pandemic. Their wealth increased from $7.5 million in 2019 to $12.6 million at the end of 2021, according to a report from a nonprofit Open the Books. I saw that earlier. I was gonna talk about it, but I didn't want to get into it too much because I was gonna save it for my Patreon platform. But there you have it. This explains his takes on stuff. If someone is profiting from this, why would you believe anything they're saying? And I'm just going to leave it at that. And it's the same thing when it comes to global warming. When you hear Al Gore, someone that would profit from these carbon exchanges, why would you listen to anything they have to say? Someone like Bill Gates, who has different y'all means, different things to inject you with, he would profit from that. Why would you listen to any profit from this stuff? It makes you untrustworthy. Because you have a financial stake in it. There's a financial incentive for you to tell us this to give us this take. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh, the book is out. Book is out. Good for Eric July. The beginning of a new era. Thank you, Rippaverse. That's good. It's great. All right, let's see what we got here. Washington Free Beacon, Pennsylvania State Troopers provide security for John Fetterman. Their union just endorsed Dr. Oz. All right, let's see what else we got here. But it's not really a big deal. The police are gonna do their job, even if they endorse one candidate or the other. Let's see. New York EMS fatally stabbed while aiding patient. Jesus. EMTs are not even safe in New York. Why would anyone visit New York? That's why they're shutting down. The Phantom of the Opera is shut down in New York because crime is so bad and people aren't visiting New York like they normally do, and they're losing out money because they've been closed for so long and all this other stuff in New York. And Mayor Adams ain't doing anything to help. And look what's going on. People are getting robbed and killed in broad daylight right in front of tourists and stabbed and shanked up. Like, who wants to go visit a city like that? All right, let's see here. Zero Hedge, historic levels of fraud. U.S. watchdog estimate $45.1 billion built from pandemic unemployment program. I wouldn't be surprised if it was more than that. It was a lot of people collected unemployment that could have carried their butts to work. And I mean, people are gonna if you give people if you offer money, people are gonna take it. As simple as that. If you offer up that money, people are gonna take it. All right, let's see what we got here. Tom Fitton, the left is angry that the court is worried about Trump's civil rights because they don't think Trump has any civil rights. And that's what differentiates us, the right from the left. The right believes in the same rights for everyone. It doesn't matter your ideology. It doesn't matter your religion. It doesn't matter your skin color. We all have the same basic rights. We all have the same constitutional rights. But the left don't believe in that. The left believe that if you don't believe in our ideology, if you don't think like us, you don't have the same rights that we have. But let me get the great Tom Fitton's take on this. I love Tom Fitton. He does great work at Judicial Watch. I've been reading and watching him for years now.
The left is angry that the court is worried about the civil rights of President Trump because they don't believe President Trump should have any civil rights. At least that's the way they behave. The left is angry that the court is worried about the civil rights of President Trump because they don't believe President Trump should have any civil rights. At least that's the way they behave. The left is angry that...
Sad. See John Solomon, he's live right now. Let's see, the White House is now avoiding questions altogether. White House skips press briefing after Biden gaffe set off comms. They say, you know what? We're just not gonna talk. We're not gonna talk the rest of the day because there's no way we can spin it, and we got an incompetent Spox. So we're just not gonna have anything going on right now. That is crazy. But what can you do? Let's see. Democrat trying to politicize the hurricane. Oh, man. Let's see. Chuck Ross. There are people in this country who are far more upset over the misgendering of a trans person than over an army officer trying to work for the Russians. That's right. That's right. Chuck Ross. Let's see what we got here. I'm gonna go ahead and retweet that. Let's see. Senator Rand Paul teams up with former college swimmer for campaign ad on transgender sports. Wowza. Baker Ripley received over $1 billion for stupid 19 assistance. This specific NGO has been charging Harris County millions administration fees for their, quote, emergency rental assistance program. There's a lot of money going to these leftist NGOs. Hopefully, out here in Houston, they vote these crazy leftists out. I stand corrected. 1.49 billion. Woo. Let's see here. Remember what road pirates took from us. Do not touch your partner's pride. Wow, I hear you. All right, what is this? If you build back better. If Build Back Better was a strip club. Jeez Louise. That's pretty funny. If y'all not following Sound of Al Gore, I suggest y'all follow. He's hilarious. The FBI scandal just keeps coming. Sodom and Gomorrah. Gomorrah reveals new FBI whistleblower. What? Oh, this is on Rumble. Let me see. Let's see what this is. Oh, it's a video. Let's check it out.
Hearing that we have got to give DOJ and FTC all this authority to supervise and make sure that the big tech is properly investigated. But our committee has oversight over Department of Justice, and we have not done oversight as a committee to stop what's been going on. And
of course they're not going to get oversight. They don't want to know. They know what they're doing already, so they don't want to investigate it because these social media are just another arm of the Democratic Party.
And I can understand Heritage Foundation, some of these others, they haven't seen the whistleblower complaints that Jim Jordan and I've been seeing. I've gotten double digits now myself.
And I want to say, good on the FBI whistleblowers, the ones that are actually coming out and admitting what's going on, the corruption and stuff that's going on in the FBI. Good for them. There are some good people in the FBI.
We're not counted in the 14 that the committee got. It sounds like Sodom and Gomorrah up there. We've got complaints this week about the sexual harassment, about sexual improprieties on the top floor, the 7th floor where the headquarters is.
If y'all don't know about that 7th floor, I want y'all to look into that 7th floor. I heard some terrible things about that 7th floor. These people are terrible. And these are the people that's charged with policing our country.
Of the FBI and all the favors and all the intimidation that goes along with sexual improprieties. And then
all I have to do is say Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. That's an example of the rampant stuff that's going on on the FBI 7th floor.
You want the DOJ, the people that told the big tech that story about Hunter's laptop, that's Russian disinformation, which they're good at saying because they pass that on about Russian collusion. And any time that President Trump or people in his administration said anything, here came the DOJ whispering in people's ears, that's Russian disinformation. Look, these are the last people that we need to trust with reining in the big tech, because we've seen the techniques. And I got to give them credit, although there is apparently a tremendous amount of corruption at the FBI and the DOJ that has not been reined in. I got to give them credit. When it comes to intimidation and manipulation, they are right there, and I don't say this lightly. They're right.
Oops. I don't know what happened to my audio. My audio went out.
Yeah. To me.
Let me rewind it some.
And I don't say this lightly. They're right. Yeah. To me. When we used to call the attorney of people that we knew were not violent, even though they committed very serious felonies, we'd tell them when to report, they reported. We didn't use the Gestapo tactics of going in the dark, beating down doors, dragging them out in their underwear to parade in front of cameras that they leaked inappropriately, leaked information to. Money.
I don't know what's going on with this audio here, but we get the gist of it. Good on Gomer. Good on Gomer. Let me save this. I'm definitely going to be referring back to this this video here, even though the audio's off a little bit. All right. House Judiciary Committee coming up on. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Suddenly, everyone talking about inventory liquidations. If only this was glaring obvious 5 months ago. It was. Let's see. I was going to cover this. I should have covered this earlier. First openly transgender Army officer indicted for trying to give soldiers medical info to Russia. Not only this individual, but their wife as well. Yes, their wife. It's transgender, have a wife. And both of them are got brought up on charges for trying to give medical information to Russians. That's what that person was tweeting about earlier, was alluding to earlier. They get mad if I would have misgendered this person, but they're not mad about this person giving people's information and working with Russia. That's what they were referring to. Excuse me, sir, but I already have the pickle Rick. What is this? Look at this. This is great. Oh my gosh. Yep, Marvel, Amazon, McDonald's, the usual suspects. The usual suspects. McDonald's is changing the game yet again after announcing they will be selling adult Happy Meals. And this is what happened. We have kids that are in arrested development. I mean, adults really. That's in arrested development. We got adults that's not adulting. That's the word now. Adulting. When someone has to do adult responsibilities, it's called adulting now. We got these people that's 18, 19, 20, 21, 25 years old that are not that refuse to do refuse to be adults, refuse to do things that they normally do. They're reverting back to childhood ways, and that's why stuff like these nostalgic toys are going to be popular. I give it to McDonald's; it's going to be popular. I can see a lot of these grown adults going in and getting these Happy Meals for nostalgic reasons. Let's see. What else we got going on here? New York to mandate zero-emission vehicles by 2035. This is, my question is, first, do y'all have any studies or anything to back that this will work? Do you show me how you're going to do this? How are you going to implement this? Do you have anything to replace these zero-emission vehicles? What are you going to do for people that can't afford these zero? Like, they just going to arbitrarily say, okay, 2035, no gas power, no science behind it, no nothing. Because, again, this is about manipulation. This is about control. Hotep Dolph, growing up is just learning that people who don't tip should have been sold from Planned Parenthood. Come on, bro. He don't mean that. He's trolling. He's a Hotep, so he don't really believe in that. Just to let y'all know. Coming up, let's see what else we got going on. What else? Chronic fatigue syndrome has been linked to 199 variants of 14 genes in a discovery that could improve diagnosis and treatment. FBI now involved in voting machine investigation in major swing state. I was about to tweet something here, but I'm not going to do it. See, this is why I say you have to process sometimes. Sometimes you have to process before you post and see. Because I was going to post, this person put white guys who cry about flutes humiliate themselves. I was going to say fat chicks who twerk humiliate themselves, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Is Biden trying to speak to a dead woman? We talked about this already. Michael Malice said, you don't know the meaning of fear until you walk into your home office to see that the ceiling fan has somehow turned on. What the left is going to see about America is how we come together. Let me see.
I'll tell you, it would have made a big difference. I mean, I've been through a hurricane and lost our house, so I know, like Don Lemon knows, wouldn't have made a damn bit of difference. Here's the bottom line. The bottom line is the people on the left are so focused on politics, power, and winning that at every turn, at every opportunity, they bring politics in. When Amy Klobuchar says, now that we've seen this, now we know the Democrats have to win in the midterm.
She's referring to what Don Lemon had said, and I covered it yesterday, about when he was trying to insert that climate change is behind this, and the weatherman, the weatherman was like, I'm not going to say that. He kept trying to push him to say it. So this is what they're referring to. They're making it political.
Then Don Lemon and Joy Behar and all the rest of them. And Biden now threatening to get the oil companies, saying you better not get those gas prices up. I mean, these are people who don't have the ability to empathize, to understand what happens when you lose everything that is familiar to you. When you lose your house, you have nowhere to go. People are looking at you like, you know, where are you going to sleep? You're not going to sleep in my house anymore. When the Army Corps of Engineers, the Red Cross come in with a cup of coffee, you almost want to get on your knees and thank them. You know, you're at the bottom of your life in terms of what am I going to do and where am I going to go? And what they're going to see, what the left is going to see about America is how we come together. Yeah. How from all over this country we come together, we take care of each other, we're generous, we're compassionate. And while the White House and the Dems try to you know, they have this incendiary, you're a semi-fascist or semi-Nazi or whatever the hell the 74 million Americans are, they're going to see that we Americans love each other and take care of each other. And this is the time to try to make sure that people are out of pain and you can do your politicking later. Yeah.
Amen. 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 Let's see.
I'll tell you, it would have made a big...
Oops. Let's see what else we got going on here. More Rippaverse. Everyone's happy about their Rippaverse. Awesome stuff there. I love it. Trump wins ruling in the R word accuser Carol defamation lawsuit. You can't just make stuff up. Trump, people don't understand. Trump is very litigious. He will sue you. If you make up a lie, he will sue the crap out of you. And she is finding out the hard way. Can't just make stuff up and say someone did something to you like that. And I think he joked about it. He was like, come on. He was like, you think I would mess with her? Trump is off the chain. Let's see. Bud. In order to be globally competitive, our tax dollars must be focused on supporting American manufacturing and American workers. I agree. Even Kanye West is talking about bringing his stuff to, having his stuff made here in America. That would be amazing. Let's see. John Solomon tweeted out, Rep. Troy Nels says that Democrats despise the oil and gas industry. That's true. That's a fact, Jack. Let's see. Speaking of Jack Dorsey texts Elon Musk. Is this real? I wonder if this is real. Jack Dorsey. Yes, a new platform is needed. It can't be a company. This is why I left. Elon said, okay, what should it look like? And Jack Dorsey says, I believe it must be an open source protocol funded by a foundation of sorts that doesn't own the protocol, only advances it. A bit like Signal has done. I agree. It can't have an advertising model. Otherwise, you have a surface area that the government and advertisers will try to influence and control. If it has a centralized entity behind it, it will be attacked. This isn't complicated work. It just has to be done right so it's resilient to what happened to Twitter. Resilient, Elon says, super interesting idea. Yeah. This is similar to what Ian says. Ian from what's his name? Ian from Timcast. He talks a lot about open source stuff. More people with the Rippaverse. Awesome stuff. Hotep and Bill. Let's see. I fully support masculinity. Ain't nothing toxic about that. Yes, that's true. I'm gonna retweet that. Men of Order. Mises' birthday. Okay, from the Mises. That's where the Mises caucus derived from. Repeal the 19th Amendment. We're not just pro-choice. We are proudly, unapologetically pro-abortion. Wow. Our nation growing ideological self-segregation is proceeding nicely. Michael Ballas be trolling these people. Let's see what we got here. a crisis at the northern border. Migrants are increasingly exploiting the openings in the U.S.-Canada border. Border Patrol agent tasked with manning the area are tied up with the southern border crisis. Problem, reaction, solution. Yes, the Hungarian dialectic. Bill Gates says political polarization may bring it to an end and could even lead to civil war. All right. Get my little handy dandy smoke ready. All right, let's see. This probably won't be massive. Let's see. Glenn Greenwald. This is the face of authoritarianism. I covered this yesterday. It's sickening. I think I covered it yesterday. Oh, did I? I think I tweeted about it. I tweeted about it yesterday. I cover so much news, it's hard for me to remember. Like if I tweeted it, if I made a video about it, if I posted it on Instagram. Like it's hard for me to remember because there's so much information that I go through throughout the day. Hundreds of articles. I don't know how I do that in my job. I enjoy it though. I enjoy it. Let's see. Black Massachusetts mother films herself helping daughter brutally attack 12-year-old girl while calling her dumb white hoe. I'm definitely not gonna play that. I don't like that stuff. That's why I never really. I do hop on World Star every now and again because I like some of the music and just to try to get the zeitgeist to understand how some people feel about certain stuff. But as far as like the fighting and stuff, I can't watch that crap. I can't. What's this? This video represents us who are awake. I think it's time to sit down with my kids tonight and have a very serious talk to them about the world. The world is not what it used to be. Let me listen to what they say. That's actually a good idea.
Ayers, despicable, disgusting. They're not human. They're disgusting.
Who?
Ayers, despicable, disgusting. They're not human. They're disgusting. And they should be held accountable. All of them. Every single last one of them. Every mayor, every governor that shamed you, terrorized you, tore your family apart, made you lose your job, divided everybody. That was the most disgusting display of humanity. And these are the people that are controlling my life and your life, that they're taking my money from and doing whatever they want with it. I don't have a choice where my taxes go.
Yeah,
so
about government. Yeah.
That time, that's how I saw it. I saw it as a complete takeover. And then in my own house, you know, these kids are all indoctrinated. So the kids are like, Dad's crazy.
I see it too.
Hey, man, your father's putting up. And I saw what they were going through. I had nieces. You know, I had my daughter come up to me, and a niece that I love said, Dad, is everything cool? Because everyone thinks you're making wacky videos. And I understand why it happened, but that's why I had to get that out there. And no one was talking about it. Everyone was still like, I felt we're at war. 100%. This is war, however you want to describe it. It's a war in your common sense. It's a war on the control of your life.
Cause just think about it. Let's go back to what we saw earlier with the actress from Canada. She got a thing, and then got her face messed up, and then she said she would do it again. Like, what person in their right mind would say something like that and do something like that unless there's a person unless they're not in their right mind? There's no way that actress is in her right mind.
It's the war on your spirituality. It's the war of your conscience and your mind. And it's not a game. It's real. And unfortunately, humanity doesn't believe that evil exists. And boy, does it exist.
Does.
Yeah,
And
man,
you'd be
it does.
horrified when you realize where they're all located.
In government.
And I'm not sure
And big tech.
some people can handle that, but I think the ones that can are very ready.
All right. Let's see. We talked about his financial records. See, that's why Fauci wanted to hide his financial records, because he knew the money that he was making off of this stuff. How can you trust anyone that has a stake, has a stake, a financial stake in anything? You can't take them. You can't listen to them because they get a financial stake in it. Let's see. We are seeing a pattern of practice of stonewalling and legal secrecy by Biden administration to protect Hunter Joe Biden. So let's listen to this real quick.
What we're seeing here is a pattern and practice of stonewalling, illegal secrecy by the Biden administration to protect Hunter, which is also, of course, about protecting Joe Biden. What we're seeing here is a pattern and practice of stonewalling, illegal.
All right. 1 second. All right. Let's see here. What else we got going on here? New UCSO is addressing a story by accusing the department of running baseless investigations due to QAnon and satanic panic. It's mildly offensive, at least. It's not how we work. We work on facts and evidence and testimony. Let's see.
This article that came out earlier this month, is the sheriff or the sheriff's department falling into this craze of QAnon or satanic panic?
Yeah, I understand why people are concerned about that kind of thing. The last thing you want to do is railroad somebody into a set of criminal charges. But when you start talking about conspiracy theories and everything, we deal with elements of a crime. When we conduct an investigation, we gather information, we talk to witnesses, we collect evidence, and we put all those things together. And you know, if you know what the elements of a crime are, you see if what you've gathered in terms of evidence and witness information and victim testimony matches the elements of the crime.
Yeah. Let's see. All right. There won't be food shortages in the United States. This is completely, totally, 100% incorrect. Why would you say this? Someone hasn't been paying attention. I guarantee this won't age well. I'm gonna tweet that. How you spell guarantee? I can't spell, y'all. Guarantee. Oops. This won't age well. Alright. Officer Tatum on his griff. Look at his t-shirts. Let's see. Zero hedge. Everybody has a plan until you get knocked out. Alright, let's see. Marvel Studios reportedly considering following directors for Blade: Spike Lee, Gina Prince. What? Oh my God! They're gonna ruin Blade. They're gonna ruin Blade. I can't even name the last film that Spike Lee came out with, and I don't even know these other people. Come, they're gonna ruin Blade. Why can't they have Why can't they have Wesley Snipes directed? Wesley Snipes directed tons of movies, and he actually starred in Blade. He was Blade. So why he can't direct it? Nas said, if Marvel chooses Gina Price, I sure as hell wouldn't watch the movie after she did the. Absolutely, Spike Lee is a good choice, but not sure if he would randomly hop on the project. I don't know about Spike Lee. Did Spike Lee even ever done a action film before? Spike Lee too woke for me anyway. I say bring on Wesley Snipes. Let Wesley Snipes direct Blade. I bet you it'd be dope. Let's see. A Maryland professor saw a culture of cheating. Let's see. You forgot to mention the global Chinese cheating rings and cheating in the Olympics. Culture. Tariq Nasheed. Less than 2,200 black students have a math SAT score above 700, according to Brookings. This is compared to 4,800 whites. Control for income. Asians still have higher SAT. Asians study 13 hours per week. White 7, blacks 5. I don't know. I can't tell you. I studied more than 13 hours a week when I was getting my bachelor's and my master's. I don't know. Blacks only study 5. I studied hours upon hours. I worked hard for my degrees, so I don't know about that one. And why do you have to leave the home base of your culture to come to the U.S., the nation built? Tariq always on some crazy stuff, man. Let's see. How Georgia Maloney... big win signals emergence of a cultural conservatism in Europe. Alright. How about a special investigatory committee on Hunter Biden in the midterms? I agree. CNBC is afraid to misgender the trans army officer who tried to give soldiers medical information to Russia that they changed their article 3 times. Look, they changed the article 3 times. So I guess this is the first one. Army major and doctor wife charged in plot to give U.S. military medical info. And his physician wife. Then they changed it to this. And their physician wife. I mean, I do it out of respect sometimes, like that's when I was referring to this individual earlier. I'd use the word individual, and I did say there out of respect, because I don't want to. I mean, I really don't purposely try to offend people. You know what I'm saying? That's something small. If you want me to call you a her and you're a him, that's fine by me. It makes no difference to me. But if you try to get me to change my ideology and my beliefs, is different. But if you want me to call you something, it is what it is. But I do think it's funny that they actually went and changed it. It's pretty funny. Let's see. There will be food shortages. We are about 6 to 12 months out of base on harvest, etc. Compounds that with the massive increases in production costs and worse. Tips: buy frozen fish, foods, veggies, veggies all sometimes better. Piggyback on wholesale fried goods orders with local chefs. That's a good idea. I need to start doing that now because it's not like I don't know how bad it's gonna be. It's gonna get really, really bad. I know this. So I'm gonna have to start. I have to start making some purchases myself, and I think I will. Well, I know I will. Let's see what else we got going on here. This idiot here says, I will harass Governor DeSantis again and again. He deserves it. He eroded trust in all levels of government and removed experience of competent people. He spent the entire time in office auditioning for the... None of this stuff is true. We have to impeach Trump on the basis of what... I don't know. Let's see here. Let's see. We took action today to advance internet freedom and the free flow of information for Iranian people, issuing a general license to provide them greater access to digital communications to counter the Iranian government censorship. Candace Owens said, now do America. That's great. That's awesome. They totally tone deaf. Like we don't know they're the government. Our government is the ones that's censoring us. Like we don't know this. Tone deaf. Anthony Blinken come out and make a statement like this. Well, let's see. What caught my eye here? Let's see here. Energy independence is an urgent national security issue. Let's see. Let's check out MRTV. Let's see if any videos. Houses are among terrifying videos show Ian. Look at this. My goodness. Hopefully everyone is safe. I know they say they got some missing people. Where's the video here? It's taking forever to load. There we go. That is someone's house. Why didn't they evacuate? I'm sure they were for the levels to be that, the water to be that high, and for it to be rushing like that. I'm sure they had to get an evacuation order. Look at that. The bay is gone. That bay is gone. There used to be water there. Wow. Wow. Beautiful home. Beautiful home. Whoa. Door buckled in from water pressure in Naples, Florida. My goodness.
Try. Wow. You got the video? Oh, I can't do video because I'm on the phone.
I got it.
Here it is. It's a fucking house going by. Here it is.
Oh man. That is crazy. Starting a fire. what, immediately? Crazy. I hope no one is in there. Craziness, craziness, craziness. Let's see what else we got going on here. Harris mistakenly says the U.S. and Korea have an alliance that is strong and enduring. Let's see. All right. Make sure it's not any. It is one more thing I want to check. Let's see. Ooh. Al Gore and John Kerry aim to hijack the World Bank for climate agenda. Let's see here. Newly minted American legend just braved Hurricane Ian. Let's go. This is. I'm pretty sure it's down here. I'm looking for a specific. I can't remember the name of the little videos that I'll watch. Let's see, here we go. Grabian News. Dr. Oz brutally dissects John Fetterman's radical record of releasing convicted murderers. Let's check this out. It says he was the only member of the parole board who felt that the convicted person should be released.
Now, my opponent in this race has taken a very firm stance on these issues, and he's done it for many years. There's a reason he's called the most pro-murderer candidate running for office. He seems to care more about the criminals than the innocent, as Maureen Faulkner was alluding to. He has explicitly stated that we can get 1/3 of prisoners out of jail and it wouldn't make a difference. He wants to get as many out as he can. I'm quoting him. He's argued dozens of times at the parole board to release criminals. Oftentimes these are convicted murderers serving lifetime sentences, which he believes also we shouldn't have. And some of these cases are quite harsh. I'm recalling one of a man who murdered his girlfriend's mother with scissors. Went to jail because the jury convicted him. A jury of our peers convicted him. The judge sentenced him to life in prison. And yet while in jail, this man learned horticulture and started doing yoga. And John Fetterman said it didn't square with him that this man would actually have been guilty and he wanted him released. He was the only member of the parole board, who felt he should be released. He's clearly way outside the norms of the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, of the people of Pennsylvania. And yet he's campaigning saying that's the right thing to do. His positions on drugs, where he believes in legalization, decriminalization of all drugs. He's argued we should have heroin injection sites. Once an open border with the fentanyl pouring across, leading to the deaths of countless young Pennsylvanians.
All right, well, I know all of you have something to say about Lindsey Graham.
Oh, my God.
Lindsey Graham, who is more than doubling down, he is...
I'm no fan of Lindsey Graham either, I must say. But let's see what the leftists have to say about it.
Going further, pushing a federal ban, a national ban on abortion. I want you to first help me understand, why would he even be doing this, right? They overturned Roe v. Wade. So for that portion of their base who wanted that, you got what you wanted.
Right.
Why do this? Republicans don't even support it across the board. He's dividing Republicans. It's not like you can get white evangelical voters.
even they get it. Even they saying that they're dividing his own party.
To vote for you twice. And now you're knocking out a ton of other potential voters.
And he's ignoring what happened in Kansas.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, it's like, come on, people.
And in so many other swing states.
Oh, I know.
Women
and
registering to vote.
The fact that he is telling women what to do with their bodies, he's never seen a vagina.
Now, I can't believe she said that. Even if that is true, I mean, I do see some funny stuff going on with him. But even if that's true, she's a leftist. I thought you guys were supposed to be accepting of the LGBTQ. So why are you making this pot shot here?
He's never seen a naked woman, and he is telling me.
Someone fact check that.
Okay, well, that's
this is a news organization. We don't know that for sure.
Okay,
we do not know that for sure. Speculating.
Judy, we would refer to that as an unconfirmed report.
Okay, I'm going to make an unconfirmed.
Someone needs to find out.
I'm going to speculate.
According to Judy Gold.
If I could flip that, though.
Yeah.
As a married man who's got a wife and 2 daughters, I don't want someone who's not married without a family dictating family policy.
Well, and also, even though I know that there are women who support the ban on abortion and support the revocation of Roe v. Wade, it really makes me uncomfortable that a guy, that a man, even in the press conference, there he is in front with these 2 meek women standing behind him.
I will say it doesn't matter if you're a male or female. A life is life. I mean, I don't think that he's really doing this because he's wanting to save children's lives. I think he's trying to split the party. He's trying to help the Democrats out is the reason why he's doing this. But that being said, it shouldn't matter if you're a male or female if you believe in the life of the baby. Because life is life. It has nothing to do with because you're a male, you shouldn't have these feelings. I think that's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous take.
There is a major UN climate conference scheduled to be held in November in Egypt. Nations from all across the globe will be participating in that. My question to you is, what can be done about China? Their seeming reluctance to participate in affairs of climate control.
Okay, I'm gonna venture to say, I haven't seen this clip, but I'm gonna venture to say that John Kerry says nothing negative about China because China owns. I'm sure China pretty much owns the entire Democratic Party. So let's see what negative spin. I mean, what kind of spin he gonna put on this to make it so he doesn't put China in a negative light. Let's see how he does this.
Control that other nations.
Well, China, interestingly enough, China has a plan. They put a plan in place.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? I knew he was gonna cap. Cape. I knew he was gonna cape for China. Because they own him. He can't say nothing negative about China. He says China has a plan. China does not have a plan. That's what even people that's for climate change admit that China's not doing anything to help climate change. And he said China has a plan. These people are funny.
We think they could be doing more, but China is going to be building more electric vehicles. Will be put on the road over the next year or so in China than in all the rest of the world put together. China is, I'm not excusing China, I'm just telling you that.
No, you're excusing China. You're excusing China. He's caping for him.
China is moving to do additional things. They are deploying renewable power at a rate that exceeds all other nations. They are the largest manufacturer of renewables in the world. And so China is moving. The challenge is that if we're not cooperating together, which we're not able to be doing right now, since the Taiwan visit, China has suspended its communications with us on this subject. I hope they're going to come back, and I hope that threatening implications if we don't deal with it rapidly.
The administration.
But I honestly believe, Bill, and you and I are two well-known pessimists.
So we went over this already. All right, let's see what else we got going on. Let me pull one more. Let's make sure it's no news, no pressing news in the last few seconds that we got here. Kamala Harris on CNDMZ. It's so close. She is the most inarticulate person I have ever seen in government. I've ever seen in government. Let's see. AOC says abortion an economic issue because if women give birth, parents are conscripted to work against their will. What? We have adoption. What is she talking about? There's plenty of people that want babies that can't have it that will adopt these children. What are you talking about? San Francisco sued by homeless people. Interesting. Maybe I'll pull that article and I'll put it on Instagram. But that's all I'm gonna cover today. I have about an hour before I have to get ready for my Hotep's Been Told You show. If y'all are not listening to Hotep's Been Told You, I suggest you check them out. They're pretty funny and they cover the news as well. It's Uncle Hotep, which I'm a moderator for Uncle Hotep and Hotep Jesus. They have a podcast on Thursday nights, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. It's really good show. Y'all should check it out. But and also check out my link in the description. It has a link to all my socials, my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram where I post news throughout the day where you can stay informed. A lot of stuff that I don't cover here, I normally will be posting on Instagram later on this evening. So check that out. You can stay informed. It's really quick reads. It's like these articles that if you don't have time to read these long articles like I do all day, you can catch the summary of it where I put the information in it, the important parts of the story in there. So check me out there on Instagram. And check out democrepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.
Say